How's it going? It's Charles Botensten from Botensten Properties International. It is Thursday, October 9th, and it is a beautiful day here. Little breeze, but that's to be expected. One of those. I got my little green juice. So good, so vibrant. Really gets me in the mood to do these videos. So today we're going to be talking about something that it's more of a mental thing. So I just brought on a coach, and the coach essentially my focus, okay, so I have a lot of thoughts that go through my mind consistently, obviously, if you haven't noticed. But one of the things that I wanted to increase were the amount of referrals that I get from past clients and current clients and family members and friends and things like that. And I never really had a system that I always felt like I was reaching out and reaching out to them to give them value. You know, oh, you need a contractor, you need a window cleaner, you need a designer, you need an accountant, you need a hairdresser, you need a good place to go, things like that. Actually, I'm going to write that down. In my newsletter, I send out coupons, and I am now going to do that. So I brought on a coach, and the coach was talking about how he strictly works by referrals, and I was talking to him and everything else, and he says, and this is the point of the video, he says, at times you're going to hate me. He said, probably 50% of the time, and this is over a call, he goes, 50% of the time you're going to hate me. I'm like, well, that's nice. Is there a time that I'm going to love you? And he says, well, probably, but I'm not here to be your friend. And he starts going into it, and it sounded raw and wrong, but he's right. He's my coach. He's someone that's going to tell me, Charles, you're not doing it right. You're going down the wrong path. And I started thinking about it, and he said, just trust me. I've been doing it for a while, and I know what I'm doing. And I actually brought that back, and I told him, I said, you know what, there's a lot of times that I actually tell my clients very close to exactly what you just told me. And I went into it, and he said, you should actually tell him that. So that's the point of this video, is that you may not like your real estate agent all the time, and obviously I'm already assuming that you chose a trusted real estate agent who you've vetted, you've interviewed multiple ones, and you said, this is the best one, this is the most professional, I trust them, and I'm assuming you've already done that. And now you have a relationship with them, either buying or selling. And there's times where the buyer feels that I'm doing it in my best interest. I don't get referrals that way. And there's a lot of agents that do it that way, but the top agents do it in your case, because when the buyer and the seller are happy, they tell their friends. They're buying a home. You're buying a home. You're buying the most expensive thing in your life. You're selling the most expensive thing in your life. It's like, I understand that. So when I meet with a buyer or seller in the beginning, I sort of used to say, by the way, I come from an objective point of view. You come from a subjective point of view because you've lived in the home, Mrs. Seller, or Mr. Buyer, you're the one buying the home. I'm not the one that earned the money. I'm not the one that saved and went to work every day and is now putting down all this money to buy a home where you're going to live. I'm coming from the objective point of view, from that person that's removed emotionally from all of the things that are going on in the buying process. So I to one extent or the other, I tell them that. I say, listen, the first reason you're hiring me is I'm coming objectively. I am that voice in your mind, in your head, that logical voice in your head that you suppress because your emotions are saying, I want this, or this is the best offer, or this is the best price, or whatever the case is. I'm that logical person that says, by the way, you are correct, and then I'll say something that they should be aware of, or something that they may not be thinking about. Maybe the cost of renovations, a building across the street may go up. Whatever the case is, your real estate professional is on your side. You are in the same corner. There is something called an agency disclosure, and the agency disclosure says you understand that your agent, whether buying or selling, is working on your behalf. And obviously there's dual agency, which means that the other person isn't being represented, but their fiduciary responsibility is to you. And it's one of those things that it's easy to know now. And you're like, oh, of course, this is an easy video. When it comes down to crunch time, when it comes down to terms in a negotiation, when it comes down to the structure of the deal, to the number, that's really where you're going to have to say, you know what? I chose this agent. He is on my side. She is on my side. I trust them. I trust what they're saying. You can go with them or against them, their opinion. And I'm saying, like, if the agent says, listen, we're at $1.5 million, and you say you don't want to pay more than 1.4, this is where you say, are you willing to give up your home for $100,000? And especially if you're going to be living there for 10 years. 10 years, that home's going to be worth close to $2 million, if not more. You know, if you look at the appreciation, 6% on average in the last 20 years. Obviously, it's been going like this, but on average, if you had a straight line, it's been going up 6%. Appreciation, New York City real estate has appreciated 6%. So when someone says, this apartment, because this is happening right now, is that people say, how is it going to keep on going up? It's at like a ridiculous high. How can the prices go any higher? I always bring them back to 10 years ago, someone said that exact same thing. They would be saying that exact same thing today. In other words, this apartment, which we're in right now, that's $1.5 million, at one time was $70,000, was $20,000. And then it went up to 20 to 40 to 180 to 500 to $1 million. And then someone at $1 million is like, this is never going to go higher than $1 million. It always does. New York City real estate always does. Every single apartment gets more expensive. That's how it is. The demand rises, money, inflation, salary, taxes go up, so you have to afford more. Salaries go up. It's just how the economy works, is that things just get more expensive. Homes get more expensive. So that $1.5 million place that you're buying, I say, are you willing to give up this place for $100,000? If you're at 1.4 and the seller's at 1.5, I ask them that question. And the second question, which is equally as important, is, will you be happy in that home? That's where you get the yes. That's where you say, let's take this number, or let's do this number. Or in every case, that's the biggest thing, is that, will you be happy in the home? You know, logically you're saying, well, it's a $100,000 difference. You know, I don't know if I've said it on any of these videos. I have another YouTube channel, but your time is more important than your money. Because there are people that are 90 years old that are billionaires, and they can't enjoy their money because they don't have much time and they don't have the energy. So I always look at my time as way more important than my money. I look at my money as, okay, cool, I have it, and if I'm struggling, then I'll hold back. If I'm doing really well, then I'll have more of an abundance mentality. But it's the same thing with your home, is that, listen, you're living there for 10 years. You're gonna be living, coming home, entertaining, raising your kids, having a home office. leaving for work, watching football games, watching whatever TV, movies, things. You're going to be with your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever the case is. You're going to be in this home for a while. Why not enjoy it? What is that $100,000? And I'm saying this obviously, again, objectively, people are like, $100,000 is a lot of money. $100,000 is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money when you're financing, and then you're going to be selling it on the back end for $2.5 million, $2.3 million, even if it's $2 million. You still made $500,000, and you have written off all that. I don't want to get into, the numbers and everything else. But buy your home because you're going to be happy, and your agent there's times where a buyer will come to me and say, I want this home, and in my mind I'm like, are you sure? And then there's other times that I'm trying to convince the buyer, I'm saying like, this is the best home we're going to, and they feel it. They feel, and I'm not just saying that. And a lot of times the buyers and sellers feel that you're just going after the commission check. Yes, there is a compensation for our time and our energy to ensure that the price is right, that the terms are right, that it actually closes, that the board package is pristine, the interview, you deal with the attorneys and the bankers and just all these other contractors that need to come in and check it out. There is a compensation for our time, and that's all we have is time in this industry. But I'm after a continued relationship. I want to be there when you have your housewarming party. I want to be there when you're having your baby shower, which I have been. And I've been invited to weddings of my clients. So I look at the relationship, and I look at it like from everything that we've seen to what we're looking at right now, all the homes that we've seen, and then the one home we're actually focused on right now, this is the best one. And the reason it's the best one, and I'll go into it logically, there's a doorman, it's the area, it's the price, the monthlies are low, whatever the case is, and I'll say this is the best home. You should move forward. And you know what's funny? Not one client has ever come back and said, you know what, we made a bad decision. Not one client has ever come back and said, that was a mistake. I wish you didn't convince us. Because sometimes they're so enveloped in the process, or they're so emotionally tied into the process, that an objective point of view is what they need. And that's why you should trust your real estate agent. Your real estate agent, and again, this is someone that you've vetted and you've interviewed multiple ones and you trust them and you've built a relationship with them. There's a reason that you've done it. And it's because you value their opinion. So as much as you may hate them at sometimes, they are in your corner. They are on your side. They are on your side because my business is built on referrals. That's all I do. I don't go for new business. I only go for referrals. And if my clients are not happy, if a client is not happy, that person's never going to give me referrals. So I want to ensure I service them as well as I can. The apartment is exactly what they want. Yeah, there's going to be things that they're not going to want. It's like dating. You're never going to get 100%. Just like in a home, you'll never get 100%. You want to get as good as you can. Listen, trust your real estate agent. At times you're going to want to strangle them and hate them and punch them in the eyeballs. But at the end of the day, they're on your side. Again, I'm Charles Botensten. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and obviously to our Instagram. That's our favorite social media network. It is Thursday, October 9th. We'll be back again tomorrow with another topic. If you have any questions, obviously shoot me an email, and we shall talk soon. And that didn't really work. I have this thing that is a live view of everything. And by the way, this is my rugby ball. I played rugby in college.